Welcome, friends and family. My name is Mary Sogard, and I, along with my sisters, Karen and Ann, would like to thank each and every one of you for coming to celebrate our dad, Robert Sogard's 95th birthday. 95th. We prepared a short video sharing some of the highlights of Dad's rich and full 95 years. Thanks again so much for coming to share in Dad's celebration. So it all began in the beautiful country of Norway, in a small town called Tildalen, located in central Norway. Robert's ancestors have been traced back to the year 1381 with the documented deed of purchase of the Sogard farm, which actually means South Farm. The land and farm were in the Sogard family until 1867, when Bob's great-grandfather, Tron Sogard, sold the farm and moved to the United States of America. After arriving in the U.S., Tron and his family settled in Iowa, where they began their lives in this new country. Norway is a beautiful country. Tildalen, where the Sogard farm is located, is in central Norway, which is an agricultural area where they grow grass or hay and potatoes. This past August, I had the privilege of visiting the Sogard farm, and even today it's called Sogard Farm. I located the barn where, in 1867, Tron Sogard wrote on the wall, "Taking my family and leaving today for America for a better life. We leave this farm in good condition."
Yep, it's better than me.
Oh, you're doing you're doing really well. I don't know any other way to do much better than that. Oh my goodness. Oh my. My phone isn't working.
We'll fix it.
You see if my phone is dark. I think the light went down. Oh, look at here. Oh my goodness. Is this old equipment all the way to come back in? Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. This looks like the old original equipment.
No, not all. It's mine.
Oh, it's yours?
No.
No.
The museum owns this now.
A museum owns this.
Yeah.
Owns the barn?
Yeah.
And that's why all of this is here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So you do not own the barn anymore?
No. I must get some
Light.
light.
Here we go. I also was able to visit the summer cabin located high up in the surrounding mountains, where earlier generations of Sogard women would take the children and livestock to spend the summer. I am so grateful for the opportunity to visit this farm and see where my ancestors came from. Tron Sogard is the grandfather of Harold Sogard, who's the father of Robert Sogard. And Harold Sogard met and married Melva Porter, and shortly after their marriage, Robert Eugene Sogard was born on October the 24th, 1924, in Omaha, Nebraska. Bob is the oldest, but certainly not the only child. Harold and Melva Sogard had 11 more children, making the Sogard household a very full and active one. The Sogards lived in Ellsworth, which is a small town in central Iowa. As a child, Bob became an avid reader. He was also very hardworking with 11 younger brothers and sisters. Early in life, Bob learned initiative and responsibility. He was a good student where he attended school in Ellsworth Elementary and High School. Bob developed many friendships which have endured and lasted throughout the decades. In October of 1943, during World War II, Robert joined the Seabees, which is a branch of the Navy. Robert was sent to Camp Perry, Williamsburg, Virginia, for boot camp, and then to Port Hueneme, California, before traveling to Pearl Harbor, and then later the Philippines, where he served. Bob served from October of 1943 until January of 1946 before his discharge from service. He received an early release from the military due to the fact that he had been sending a portion of his paycheck back home to assist in the care of his younger brothers and sisters. After service and discharge from the military, Bob was able to use the GI Bill, and he enrolled at the University of Iowa in Iowa City and earned a Bachelor of Arts and Science degree in journalism. He graduated in February of 1951. After graduation, Bob moved to New Orleans, where he worked at the Times-Picayune from March of 1951 to February of 1953. In 1953, Bob moved to Burlington, Iowa, where he accepted a position at the Burlington Hawkeye and worked there for 33 years.
Let me call you sweetheart.
Shortly after arriving at the Hawkeye, Bob met his future wife, Janet Eileen Rolfe, who was working there as a proofreader. They were married on July the 12th, 1953, at the home of Carl and Georgiana Rolfe, who lived in Burlington.
That you love me too.
Within a short time, Robert and Janet soon welcomed their first daughter, Karen Louise Sogard, on April 23, 1954. Then, on February the 3rd, 1956, they again welcomed daughter number 2, Mary Janet Sogard. And in short order, third daughter, Anne Rolfe Sogard, was welcomed into their growing family on May the 1st, 1957. Bob and Janet found themselves very busy with 3 active and growing daughters and his new career at the newspaper. Their days were full with family, friends, church, and work. Bob's daughters, Karen, Mary, and Anne, were fortunate to have a father who enjoyed photographing his daughters, who, as we always knew, were the apple of his eye.
Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, Joe McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, Television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe.
Bob's career at the Hawkeye grew, as did his friendships with his co-workers. Over the years, Bob served as fire and police reporter, city hall reporter, city editor, assistant managing editor, and farm editor. Bob's specialty columns included Fourth and Washington, The Ag Bag, Bob's Bogies, and staff editorials. To this day, Bob is known and greeted by those in Burlington who recognize him from the newspaper many years ago.
Of Nasser and Prokofiev, Rockefeller, Campanella, Communist Bloc, Roy Cohn, one Perón, Toscanini, Dacron, Gendon, Food Falls, Rock Around the Clock, Einstein, James Dean, Brooklyn's gotta win. Working so hard, I'm punching my card.
After a rich 33-year career at the Burlington Hawkeye, working as a journalist, in 1986 Bob chose to retire and embark on his next chapter of life.
Kicked off Sunday shoes, please, Louise, pull me up from my knees.
Now, after retiring, Bob had more time to do things that he enjoyed. Janet and Bob visited daughter Mary while she lived in Alaska. They also took a 6-week vacation to the West Coast and seeing the sights along the way, visiting daughters in California and numerous friends as they traveled. Other trips included Zion and Grand Canyon National Parks. Many Christmases have been spent in California, and during their stay, a trip to Laguna Beach was a must, as it was a favorite destination for our family. In July of 2003, Bob and Janet celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. Both the Sogards and the Rolfe families came to Burlington to celebrate, first with a picnic in the park, and then the next day a celebration at Pizzazz.
My lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing somewhere beyond the sea. She's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing.
In 1999, Janet had been diagnosed with cancer. She underwent 6 months of chemotherapy and radiation, and she continued to live a good and productive life. However, in 2004, Janet had a setback with the return of the disease, and on June 28, 2004, Janet passed away. It was a time when our family grew stronger together through our shared grief as we laid her to rest. Janet had such a strong and enduring faith in God, and we look forward to the day when we will be reunited once again in heaven.
And my heart will always be a place for you for all my life. I keep a part of you with me.
In March of 2009, following a major orthopedic surgery, Dad experienced a serious setback. He was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis and subsequently spent 9 days in ICU. He was on a ventilator and given a 10% chance of living. With the support of many friends and family, many of whom are here today, and by the grace of God, and with the sheer will and determination that Dad has to live, after 3 weeks in the hospital, he returned home. As we know, he has continued to live life to the fullest and considers each day a blessing to be alive. Thanks be to God.
Certain number of months or years to live, and some go faster than others, but I'm very blessed that I have had 9 years so far.
Indeed.
When my daughters had to make a decision on how we got to treat this guy, and the doctors met with him, and ultimately they put a trach tube down me and a chest tube, and got well enough so they could take both out and go home.
3 weeks later, Daddy.
Yeah, 3 weeks later.
It was a blessing. That's like a miracle, Dad. It is a miracle. We see it as a miracle.
That's right.
We're so grateful. Over the years, the Sogard family has enjoyed many lasting friendships, as well as the support of extended family. Friendships that have come from work or church or school or other places that have lasted and endured throughout the years. Often, people have marveled and wondered as to how Bob has lived so long and done so well after Janet's passing. I believe the answer is that Dad is engaged and involved himself with his family, his friends, his church, and his local community, and enjoys being productive and serving others in any capacity that he can. In addition, he just enjoys life.
From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas night.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Over the years, the Sogard family has been so blessed to live in the beautiful river town of Burlington that sits on the banks of the Mississippi. Crapo Park has been one of the highlights with friends and family. Many picnics have happened there and lots of great memories. Snake Alley is a beautiful landmark of Burlington. It's designed in the late 1800s after the famous Lombard Street in San Francisco. We have the Port of Burlington Memorial Auditorium, a beautiful bridge crossing the Mississippi River, and so much more.
Bright blessed day, the dogs say goodnight, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, goodbye. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Ooh, someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me.
So at age 95, Bob Sogard, or for my sisters and I, Dad, continues to live life to the fullest as he gives back to his family, his friends, his church, and his community. Bob has 3 daughters, Karen, Mary, and Ann, 5 living siblings, sisters Marilyn, Marge, Ann, and brothers Butch and Gary. He has numerous nieces and nephews from both sides of the family. As a long-time member of Bethany Lutheran Church, he continues to serve as lector and usher, as lay chaplain, committee member, choir member, and official coffee maker. He attends weekly Bible studies and also meets monthly with the men's group. He is a member of Silver Sneakers at the Y, where he enjoys exercising and socializing. Dad serves as the lead for the weekly Senior Bridge Club. He has a monthly gathering with the Deadliners, who are fellow retirees from the Hawkeye. He meets with his Book of the Month Club as well. He's no stranger to the Coffee Clutch group, who meets at Digger's Coffee Shop down in Burlington, downtown. He is the first to say that he is thankful for each day that he is given and credits God, family, friends, and his community for his rich life. For those of us who are fortunate to know Dad, or Bob, he continues to set an example of how to live life. We are all wishing you the happiest 95th birthday, Robert Eugene Sogard.